Got a new sander today, and I was kind of looking around for something. I'm really into using low air use, so because I only have maybe 15 CFM or something like that, and like Dynabraid has a sander that's like 16 or 17 CFM. That doesn't work for me. These are like 13. This is like 10. Okay, this is let's back up again so you guys are new subscribers and haven't seen some of my videos on this stuff. This is a DAQ from National Detroit. It's the real DAQ. It's not a fake one. The real ones use less CFM. If you get a fake one, they use about 16 or 17 CFM. That one uses 10 and it's super powerful. We'll do a little demo on all these in a minute. Okay, this is a Hutchins. I don't know which model this one is. I don't know. But these are a 332's Orbit. So it's a really fine sander. It's really good for wet sanding. We found that what happened is I had this Harbor Freight Tools one. It lasted about 3 years. The trigger broke on it. I made a trigger for it, but it just finally started having problems. I think there's something inside of it that's messed up. I'm not sure, but I just didn't really want to deal with repairing it. So it's a $59 sander. It wasn't bad for the price from Harbor Freight Tools. It's called their composite sander. The cheap ones aren't as power. It doesn't. This one here would only use maybe about 10 or 12, maybe 15, 12, 13 CFM maybe at the most. And because my compressor would usually outrun it, I mean, it would start to slow down a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. All these sanders, my compressor runs perfectly. But if I get one of those other ones, like I have a Chinese DAQ, it starts to run out of steam. The cheap ones from Harbor Freight, it starts to run out of steam. It runs for a while, but it starts to run out of steam after about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes of sanding. I have to stop for 5 or so minutes to let the compressor catch up. None of these have that problem yet. That I haven't really tested this one for a long term yet. Mainly I was testing it for power, but the reason I made this video today is because I got this new sander called the Aircat. Let's look at the number. See if it focuses in. 6310. Sorry, it's not focusing. I need to be like further away. Aircat 6310. This one says, I don't know if it really does this, but it says it runs on 3.5 CFM. So maybe at idle it might run on 3.5 CFM, but realistically I think it's about 6 or 7. But it's really good, super powerful. I mean, this thing rocks with power. So I'm gonna do some demo on these things here. I just got it, so I haven't used it long enough to really even run it out of air. But as far as power goes, this thing kicks ass. So I just did this little section here, and I just burned right through down to the metal in one section just in seconds. But it's manageable power though. This one here, the DAQ, takes a lot of effort to hold it in place. And I got a 5-inch on here on the other one, but I'm just going to leave the sandpaper that's on them and just kind of give you guys a heads up on how they work in just a second, the rest of this video. Alright, so we're going to start out real quick with the Hutchins. The sandpaper on this thing's wore out, but that's all the way up. So that's the Hutchins sanding. Great sander. The thing I do find with this sander, because it's a 332's, it's very heavy. It's a 332s. It's nice and quiet, that I do like, but it is very heavy and it wears you out pretty quickly. But I'm sure it'll probably last forever. It's pretty old now. I got it used a while back for a pretty good price because they said it didn't work, and it didn't work very good. And I'm like, Hutchins don't wear out. So anyway, I bought it, and of course all that was wrong was the muffler was plugged. This is a DAQ, the same thing. I got this on eBay. That's all the way up. You really can't manage it all the way up, okay? That's at a manageable speed, and it's very powerful. This thing is really good for stripping. Like if you just got done stripping your car, you want to sand it and stuff like that, then it really works well for that. And now let's look at the Aircat. Super lightweight. Very much like the weight of the sander. Really like the handle. You can tell it's got juice. It has more power than that. Let's look at it all the way up. Now my compressor already kicked on, so I'm thinking 3.5 CFM is pretty off the table. But what's cool about it is the stroke that's on this. I think it's a 3/16 orbit. So the thing that's really good about the 3/16 orbit is, hopefully you guys can see. Okay, I'm noticing some dust on it. The thing about 3/16 orbit is it's very manageable, but it's also still very powerful. It actually has a really nice. You can push on it a little bit. Not that you should, but you can push on it a little bit, and it doesn't bog down at all. Seems like my compressor's keeping up with it okay. I think it's probably around 7 CFM. That's my estimate. I don't know, it says it's only 3.5, but whatever it is, it's probably pretty good for a smaller compressor. I can't sand anymore here. I'm already hitting metal, so I don't have nibs. But anyway, so I don't have a lot of sanding to do with it right now, but I'll probably do a later review on it after I've used it for a while. But initially, I'm going to tell you that this thing is definitely on the buy list. If you're looking for a low air use sander that's got some power, definitely this Aircat's kicks ass. So I don't know how long it's going to last. Like I said, we'll do another review on it later. It was around around $100 with everything. So in the scheme of sanders, that's really not too bad if you're going to use it as a professional or semi-professional. I'm not a professional, but I'm a semi-professional. I do a lot of stuff, but I'm not doing this for work every day. If I was doing it for work every day, I probably would buy a Dynabraid or a Hutchins or another one of the National Detroit that has the right throw for what I'm trying to do. I needed, You know, I got the 332s is for doing fine sanding. This is my medium sander, and this one's my aggressive sander. So you kind of have to have more than one, depending, unless you want to just spend. But as far as a middle one, if you don't have any DA, this one might be a good one to start out with, because it has a good power, and it doesn't use a lot of air, and it's very pretty lightweight. I'm gonna say it's not the lightest sander I ever had. The Harbor Freight one was super lightweight, but it does have a lot of power, a lot more power than the Harbor Freight one did. And the Harbor Freight one had a decent amount of power, but this one's got that. That was an 1/8 inch throw. This one's a 3/16. So this is a little bit more throw, more orbit to it than the Harbor Freight one. So it's a little more aggressive, which is good. The Harbor Freight one was a little bit not aggressive enough. As far as this is called the composite sander, if you're going to compare it to that one. This one's about to get thrown away, but anyway, that's the review for the Aircat sander. Definitely, I would give it a chance and see if you like it. All right, I'll talk to you in the next video.